project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 60 minute block.
Welcome. It's been too long. We're back though. Week 10, Bud Baller Review. Hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. Good time with your family, your friends. Some of you spent your holiday winning at basketball. Some of you spent your holiday losing at basketball. Let's jump into who is doing what. Quick hitters. You know, my top two players are down. The past 2 weeks, I've played the worst two teams. You both had a chance to take me down, and neither of you even attempted. Walked away with the win versus Jackson. Drew had a very close matchup with Nick and ended up winning, getting his first win in quite some time. John and Tim had a good matchup, but John walked away the winner. Chris taking down Sawdog. Sawyer, I was looking through your team. You haven't been making a lot of ad drops, but then you look through the lineup the past couple weeks, and you don't really have a ton of guys to drop, which is a great and a kind of inconvenient thing at the same time. And then a Tom and Alex matchup, really close throughout the week. Tom ends up winning somewhat handily at the end, but that one goes to Tom. Me and Jackson, for the second week in a row, I play a manager who doesn't set their lineup most of the time. I will say Jackson did have some injuries. Booker played all of 4 minutes the entire week. I believe Zion sat a game. Tatum was playing fine, but listen, I won by almost 200 points, over 80 rebounds. Assists were there to be had. Blocks were there to be had. Percentages were there to be had, but Jackson didn't feel like reaching out there and snatching that win, so I'm going to take home that W. MVP for me is going to be LaMelo Ball. At least I've got him playing for me. 13 threes made, 71 points, 24 rebounds, 32 assists, 5 steals, 2 double-doubles, and 1 triple-double. I jump up into a tie for first place, but sitting in first with Sawyer. Only would have been 3-6 this week, so thankfully I played Jackson. Only would have beaten Jackson, Nick, and Drew. 2-game winning streak, record of 8-2-0. That winning streak probably coming to an end for a little bit. Jackson, on the other hand, in ninth place, 0-9. Like I said, the door was wide open. If you just wanted to walk out and grab that win, you make a couple ad drops, you probably would have done it. Didn't feel like it. 3-game losing streak for Jackson, record of 2-8-0, tied for ninth, sitting in ninth. Nick versus Drew. This one, Drew wins this 5-4. They were tied in double-doubles at 5, only separated by... This is probably the lowest turnover combined total I've ever seen, 43-48. And only separated by 5 turnovers, separated by 4 assists, 17 rebounds. That's kind of a lot. 13 threes, and Nick won both percentages. But, again, Nick, I'm going to have to start setting your lineup for you. This is depressing that we have to do this every week. It sucks. But Drew's coming out with the win. CP3 getting it done. 67 points scored, 38 assists, 6 steals, and 2 double-doubles. Drew, first win in a while. Only would have been 2-7, beating Nick and Jackson, so thankfully he played Nick. 1-game winning streak, in 6th place with a record of 3-6-1. Nick in last, 1-8, only would have beat Jackson. 4-game slide, 2-8-0. Tim versus John. This was a really good matchup, really close. Only separated by 7 rebounds. Tied in blocks. Turnovers were 15 away, 1 double-double difference. Tim having 2 triple-doubles on the week, thanks to Jokic just being the best player on planet Earth. But John coming out victorious, having the most threes, assists, and steals on the week. MVP for John is going to be Luka Doncic, 12 threes made, 126 points scored, 32 rebounds, 36 assists, 9 steals, and 2 double-doubles. John in third place would have been 8-1-0, only would have lost to Tom. 3-game winning streak for John, record of 7-2-1. Meanwhile, Tim slides out of a playoff spot. Would have been 4-4-1, only losing to John, Sawyer, Chris, and Tom, and would have tied Alec. 1-game losing streak for Tim. Tied with Drew in record at 3-6-1, but in 7th place. Chris and Sawyer, bravo, Chris, taking down the number 1 dog. Team wasn't looking that great to start the year. Did have some injuries. Harden was out for a while, and boy, he was stunting this week. May not have scored a lot of points, but dude put up 50 assists by himself. had 2 double-doubles and a triple-double. Chris had the most rebounds, most blocks, and most triple-doubles this week with 3. Sawyer and him were only separated by 14 points, 10 threes, 8 assists, 12 turnovers, 1 double-double. This one definitely could have gone either way, but like I said, Sawyer's just not making a lot of ad drops, and you go through his team's very good. Almost all of his players are not droppable. He's got 1 slot in there right now that you can ad drop, but I think that's only because one person, Middleton's hurt. Middleton comes back. If he wants to stream it all, he's got to drop somebody not worth dropping, and that's a fine line to do. But we've seen lost to Nick a couple weeks ago, or I think it was it Nick or somebody else losing to Chris now. Not saying that that's his team just flopped. His team put up good numbers because Sawyer would have been 6-2-1, only would have lost to Chris and John and tied Tom. But they're doing a lot, but not just enough to win. So congratulations, Chris. That's a big dub. Coming up into 4th place. Chris also would have been 8-1, only would have lost to John this week. 3-game win streak for Chris, record of 6-3-1. Finally, Tom versus Alec. These guys were 5-5, tied up most of the week going into the weekend. I said something to Alec. I was like, Al, you going to pull this out? And he said, ain't no way. Tom's going to win this. And what happens? Tom wins. Both were pretty close in percentages, separated by less than 10 threes, 12 rebound difference, 8 assist difference, 7 turnover difference, 2 double-double difference. So the shot was there for Alec to take it, but it just didn't go his way. MVP for Tom's going to be Embiid, hitting 500 from the field, 854 from the stripe. 129 points scored, 36 rebounds, 14 assists, 6 blocks, and 2 double-doubles. Tom in 5th place would have been 7-1-1, only would have lost to Chris and would have tied Sawyer. 1-game win streak for Tom, record of 6-4-0. Meanwhile, Alex sliding down to 8th place. Al would have been 4-4-1, losing to Tom, John, Sawyer, and Chris, and tying Tim. 3-game losing streak, record of 3-7-0. MVP of the week, from Yahoo's point of view, was Jokic, 586 from the field, 83 points scored, 36 rebounds, 39 assists, 3 double-doubles, 2 triple-doubles. We got some good matchups coming up for you this week, boys. We've got Tom versus John, myself versus Tim, Sawyer and Alec, Jackson and Drew, and Chris gets a nice toss-up versus Nick. That's all I got for you. Good luck this week.